looking live at Royal Memorial Stadium in Austin, Texas, where the long-awaited rematch has arrived on Saturday Night Football on ABC, presented by Southwest Airlines. Big 12 South rivals, Texas Tech and Texas. Last season's stunning upset in Lubbock knocked Texas out of the national title chase. And now, with a different venue, it's the rematch. Texas Tech and Texas. Good evening, everybody. With Kirk Herbstreit, I'm Brent Musburger. Folks, I'm going to tell you one thing. The Horns have not forgotten, nor have they forgiven. They can't get over how last season ended. They still think they should have been in the national championship game. Texas Tech with other ideas. How can they pull it off in Austin, Kirk?
Well, I think that's the challenge for Mike Leach, is to be able to take his team on the road in a traditional power like Texas and show that he can play with the big boys in the Big 12. And I think to do that, Taylor Potts, his junior quarterback making his first start on the road, has to get off to a good start, and they have to protect him by being able to run the football some.
And Colt McCoy for the Horns.
It's funny, you and I are outsiders. We love Colt McCoy, but here in Austin, they're very critical because they have high expectations. I think Colt McCoy tonight will settle into this game. He'll run the football early and often to just kind of get him into the rhythm of the play calling, and I expect number 12 in burnt orange to play very, very well.
Pull up a chair, everybody, and settle in. We're about to start up the music in Austin. And here tonight, the Horns hope to avoid a USC upset. Brandon Carter, though, says otherwise, and it could be a long night for Bevo if Colt McCoy doesn't get rolling against the Red Raiders. This has been the Nissan pregame shift. Kickoff for Texas Tech and Texas coming up next. We welcome you back to Austin, another important stop along the drive to the national championship. Well, neighbors are going to square off tonight. There you see Abilene. That's where Taylor Potts went to high school. Colt McCoy, he was a childhood friend from Tuscola. And there they are, as Taylor Potts, the latest in a long line of quarterbacks for Coach Leach. And standing by now, Lisa Salters with Mac Brown. Let's go to Lisa.
Thanks a lot, Brent. Mac, considering what happened in this game last year, what does this rematch tonight mean for your players?
Lisa, the biggest thing this means, last year we lost our control of destiny. We had our own control going into this game. We were number 1 in the country, and if we won out, we would have played at the conference and the national championship. But when we lost, it threw us back into the mix and threw us back into the system. But it also taught this team that if you want to win them all, you can't have a bad half. And last year we didn't play very well in this first half.
Now you know that they can put points on the board. What's going to be the key defensively to slowing down their offense?
Well, you just got to bat some balls down and get some pressure on the quarterback and change it up. But they're going to make their yards. The good thing is we're scoring 50 points a game, too.
All right, thanks a lot, Mac.
Thanks, Lisa.
Brent, back to you.
Thank you, Lisa. And Mike Leach on the other side won the toss. No deferring with the Merry Pirate from Lubbock. He wants that football here. He wants to see if he can put points on the board. He's very short-handed tonight defensively, we should report. But Potts and his receivers, they are fired up and ready to go. Justin Tucker, the ball on the tee for the Longhorns. Kickoff to the goal line, and Eric Stevens, a running back we're going to see a lot of here tonight, finds a little bit of a crease and brings it out around the 29-yard line. There is a flag down on the opening kickoff. Big 12 officiating crew, and right away they got the first flag. Tom Walker, you see in the white hat, is our referee here tonight.
During the run, hold. And Brady Taylor, 10-yard penalty. First down.
Now Taylor Potts, I think we have to introduce him to the country here tonight, Herbie.
Yeah, he is a big, strong quarterback, 6'5", about 218 pounds. And with Mike Leach's system, it's not so much just about being big and strong armed. It's about understanding the system. This is his 4th year of Mike Leach's system, so he knows what to do with the ball, and he's coming off a great game last week against Rice, where he threw 7 touchdown passes.
Massive offensive line, the big splits, 2-point stance. They'll quickly retreat to pass block. That slows down the rush about a second and a half. And his first pass of the night is complete to Alex Torres, a freshman from El Paso, Texas.
So much for easing into the game for Mike Leach and his quarterback on the road. What timing there on the first throw by Potts and the receiver.
If you're wondering about Graham Harrell and Potts and how they compare, we have been told by both sides, Leach and the Longhorns, that Potts probably has a little bit stronger downfield arm. They don't know if he quite has the touch that Harrell had. And one thing obviously missing, there's no Michael Crabtree. Oh, beautiful delivery. And Herbie, you can see with the young man, it just doesn't take long to get out of there. And that was Detron Lewis, who was injured as another flag comes out. Detron was injured a little bit of hamstring, but he's here tonight. And we've got our second flag of the night. And Robinson's indicating it's going to go against him. Walker says, I don't need your help, young man. I can do this.
Biswell, personal foul, offense number 27. 15-yard penalty, second down.
That's receiver Edward Britton who threw that flag.
It comes in late right here. Hits McElroy from behind. An obvious fall right in front of the umpire. It's exactly what you can't do on the road after a little bit of rhythm, starting to establish yourself as an offense. But you're right, getting back to your comment about Taylor Potts. Strong arm, in rhythm, and has a lot of confidence in his ability to run this offense that we'll talk about, this scheme, here as the game goes on.
Batch, big hole in the middle, rips it, and almost got the first down. Now there is a fine run before Curtis Brown's able to tackle it.
Big splits up front. Guard comes around, picks up a nice block, and that's what Lonnie Edwards as a guard leading has to be able to do tonight. This offense has to be able to establish just enough of a run game to make Will Muschamp and Texas' defense respect it.
Oh, like stealing. Rush 5. Picked up Leong. He was a high school teammate at Abilene. Lyle Leong, a junior.
Great chemistry. They're ready to go again here, but great chemistry with Leong. Gets up, makes a nice play, and a big first down. Look at the timing and the spacing by these wide receivers from Texas Tech.
There's that wide receiver screen. Put a couple of blockers out in front of him. See what Britton can do that time. So they're moving the ball around. That is one thing when you don't have a Michael Crabtree around. Muschamp knows that Potts can really spread the ball around.
And that's a big thing that Mike Leach believes in. Distribution. Not just about throwing it to one guy. Spread it around to all your receivers and make Will Muschamp and the Longhorns respect every aspect of this offense. Boy, right now they have Texas's defense on their heels early in this drive.
Time for the offensive line, and on target again. Has he ever been accurate? That is Franks with his first catch of the night.
Taylor Potts right now just coming out and showing that he's, again, in command, understanding this offense, Brent. It's about spreading the defense from sideline to sideline and creating matchups. If they're going to give you easy throws underneath coverage, you have to take them. And Taylor Potts seeing the reads and making the right throws.
He's back with the running play, and that was Eric Stevens who returned the opening kickoff. He is a freshman at Texas Tech. He's from Mansfield, Texas, and we were told he's going to get a few chances here tonight. They like his upside a lot, and already he's handled the ball twice. Now we've got a second down and 9 coming up. And Potts has already hit 5 different receivers in this game. Open, bobbled. Did he grab it on the way down? Yes, he did. What a great grab. Franks with his second catch of the night. The umpire right there had a beautiful view of it. His back was turned completely to us. But what fine concentration.
Great job here by Franks. Leong right there, number 11, takes the linebacker out of the zone, and it's just a soft spot.
That is a beauty.
That's a heck of an effort there.
He'll probably take another look at it upstairs just to make sure, but that was a circus grab, wasn't it? And I am so impressed with a couple of things right away. Obviously the accuracy, you all can see that at home, but you get the feel that this ball gets out of there so fast, Herbie.
Yeah, he does have an ability to do that. I think I love about him, boy, what concentration. You're right. Earl Thomas comes up, hits Franks, and he just doesn't give up on it. That's going to be interesting to see.
Well,
because let's see.
I was waiting for a chance to take a shot at the National Football League, and I'm going to take it right now. I can't believe that the Raiders didn't score a touchdown.
On the field with a catch is confirmed.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
looked like a catch, felt like a catch, and the Raiders didn't get a touchdown. When did the definition of a catch change? Remember now, running back in the end. Oh, I shouldn't get carried away about this, but you stick a ball across the plane, touchdown. They make you handle it perfectly all the way down. That was a great catch.
What are you, Raiders? What are you, a Raiders fan?
No, I'm not.
But, yeah, I
just want to get that off my chest.
Okay, you got it. The tempo right now, I think, is what's really alarming for Texas's defense. They're obviously up-tempo, no huddle, and Taylor Potts in command. Here's man-to-man coverage by Texas as a changeup.
3rd down and 2. There was movement by the defense. Kendall on this right side, and he apparently was drawn off.
Dead ball. Ball start. Offense number 78. 5-yard penalty. Still 3rd down.
Lonnie Edwards, an offensive lineman, guilty there. Brought Kendall out cross.
Just by having the replay and then having the penalty, to see if they're able to pick this 3rd down up, because they've lost some of that rhythm that they created by just going up quick to the line of scrimmage. Giving Texas's defense a chance to catch its breath.
Potts goes to the 1-yard line, double coverage that time, and there was no chance for Britton. And there's a young man who's looking forward to this game. He's waited for this so long. A young Blake Gideon, the safety a year ago, who dropped that pop fly that would have been an interception, and Texas would have won that game over. He took a step. He told us the other day when we met with him that his problem was that he started to take off with the football instead of just concentrating on wrapping it up. His father called him. His father's a coach. Called him the next day, and he says, you've got 24 hours to get over it. Now don't be selfish. And the young man has lived with it. 41 yards here for Matt Williams, that walk-on field goal kicker. And he puts the Red Raiders up by 3. Were you impressed, Herbie?
Very impressed. Not only do they take the ball, but they drive down and get 3 points.
Beautiful crowd tonight in Austin. Only once in history has Texas Tech won a football game in Lubbock against Texas and then won the next year in Austin. And that was exactly 20 years ago that they were able to complete that double. Here tonight, they jump out to a field goal advantage. Corona with the ball on the tee. He'll kick it away. Malcolm Williams and DJ Monroe, the youngster, back deep. Kickoff. Take a knee in the end zone. And we'll go to New York and check in on an update with Matt Weiner. Matt, what do you got for us here tonight?
Hey, Brad, I've got it.
Yeah, thanks, Matt. Wasn't there a delay in the Clemson game? I think there was against Boston College for a time today. Clemson finally won that football game when they concluded it. So obviously there's some weather down there in that part of the country. McCoy on the move, throws to his roommate, Shipley. First completion of the night, and there's a combination we're probably going to be hearing a lot about.
Not only tonight, but for the year. And, of course, Colt McCoy comes into this football game, one of the most high-profile players in college football. Last year, got off to a bit of a slow start. That's been a trend again this year in his first 2 games, and then finished strong last year. I think they're going to run him early. In fact, on this opening drive, some quarterback draws just to get him in to settle down.
This is that short-handed Red Raider defense, and they come back with the running game right away. And McGee is brought down by Wall, the corner. But just to fill you in, the Red Raiders are in here with only one defensive end, and they're too deep tonight. That's right. Henley and Halliburton, both injured, are not here. Sharp is not here for disciplinary reasons. That leaves them with Daniel Howard, number 53. So the linebackers, we're told, Bird and Williams, will frequently move up to the rush position. And the middle of that defense is here, though, I'll tell you that. And Colby Whitlock, who had a huge game in Lubbock a year ago, makes his impact felt. Now, there's a big wrestle that might wrestle for a long time.
Player at defending these kind of spread attacks because he gets a push in the middle. He's a scrapper, a high school wrestler, very familiar with Texas and Colt McCoy and how they try to attack the Red Raider defense.
Second down and 13 after the 3-yard loss. Play action in the middle, 1st and 10 at midfield as he comes right back and hits Danny Buckner. Because they're shorthanded at tight end, you know he's changed position, and there he is flexing out to the left side.
Bondrell McGee comes out of the backfield and goes off to the left there. It occupied both the linebackers and gave Colt McCoy plenty of room to find Buckner right behind Brian Duncan, the middle linebacker, who again went out to the flat with the running back.
Keep an eye on number 4. They're going to convert him to a full-time tight end. He's got a body. Newton now, Nate Newton's son, checks in as a running back. And folks, when you look at Trey Newton as a running back, he looks like half a Newton to me. I mean, look at him.
Beautiful specimen.
Would you think?
No. No.
Wouldn't you think that you got to think Nate Newton's son is a big old nose guard or a big old offensive tackle? I mean,
trying to block Colby Whitlock out there. But how about out of South Lake Carroll, familiar with this kind of offense, no huddle, shotgun, steps in as a freshman and shows Mac Brown and Greg Davis that he can do this.
Second down and 10, and they like his upside. Greg Davis says he's got ability. Now here is just what you were talking about, Herbie. There was Colt taking care of himself.
Bradford and Tim Tebow this year are just so high. At the end of the day, you forget that he's still a human, and there's a tendency to want to press and try to force things. And I think he's been guilty of that in the first couple games in the first half, just trying to make too many things happen. And Mac Brown and Greg Davis, the offensive coordinator, have sat him down this week and said, hey, just play the game and have some fun. Turn it loose.
Empty, and Monroe is an extra wide receiver. He couldn't find anybody, and he is sacked. Brought down by Jones. So both of the interior linemen, Jones and Whitlock, come up big for the Red Raiders.
Well, Jones moving from the outside because he typically plays on the inside, but because of the injuries that Brent has talked about, they've moved him. He's been on just this drive alone to the left end, also this time on the right end, and he just uses his speed to go right around the offensive tackle there to the left side. Impressive. What a way to start this game for Texas Tech.
Zuzalek. There's a beautiful punt. Wow. Inside the 1-yard line. Justin Tucker with a terrific punt.
I thought that hit the Texas Tech player.
Did it hit him, Herbie?
May have hit the Texas gunner first. There's the ball. There's definitely some contact there.
Well, they can always take a look at that and change the spot, right? So we'll take a break here. I think you're right. I think there was a little bit of contact there with the ball. So we'll see what they spotted. We'll take a break here in Austin. What a great punt, though. There's some good-looking horns right there now, aren't they?
He's probably thinking, what are you doing with that light? What are you doing?
Now, the officials on the field, they had it immediately that there was contact at the 6-yard line. That's where contact with the player. So the ball is spotted right there for Potts and the Red Raiders. If you just joined us on their first series, they drove down, kicked the field goal, and there's a penalty flag again. And they had a few of those.
Dead ball. Ball start. Offense, number 78. Half a distance to the goal. Still first down.
Brett, that first drive by Texas Tech was so impressive to be on the road with a quarterback starting for the first time on the road. What I would do to defend Mike Leach, if you're Will Muschamp, is you have to make some adjustments. And one of the things you have to do is the defensive backs have to eliminate the cushion that they're giving the Texas Tech wide receivers, make them fight to get off the line of scrimmage to disrupt the timing with Potts and the receivers.
You saw Edwards leave the field. He's guilty of his second infraction of the night. From the end zone, fires a strike, and they slide out to the 9-yard line here on that first down. That's Torres. That's his second catch.
That's exactly what they did right there. Curtis Brown up close playing more bump coverage, and you have to do something. If you sit back and give Taylor Potts and this system a cushion, they find the holes every single time.
On second down, floats it out of the end zone. Incomplete. Good pressure on Potts that time from McElroy, the outstanding linebacker there, number 38.
They also brought Keenan Robinson, both linebackers. McElroy to the inside, a little bit of a stunt there. Brought Robinson from the outside to the end. And that's what you want to see from Will Muschamp. Pressure, challenge these Texas Tech wide receivers, and try to get after Taylor Potts. See him up close to the line.
Here comes pressure again. Potts stands tall. And I'll tell you, first of all, it was almost intercepted. Then on the ricochet, it was almost caught by Lewis. But that was Earl Thomas, the safety, who had the first crack at an interception on that pass.
There's a blitz coming right from the inside receiver, and that's exactly who he starts to look up. Lewis gets a free release. That's what the quarterback is looking for. You see the other receivers are having to fight to get downfield. The quarterback is reading that as he gets the football. He's looking back to see which receiver is going to have the free release to make the easy throw. That time a good decision, just a poor throw.
Now here's Shipley, very dangerous return man. Corona tries to hang in. He doesn't. This is returnable on the move. Here's Shipley at the 45-yard line. Looking daylight right up the seam now. Cuts through. Got to the 20 now. Gets over to the 10, the 5. End zone. Touchdown. Jordan Shipley. And almost Bevo says, hey, easy there, big fella. I'm on your side. A 46-yard return. One that brought Bevo to his feet. Hunter Lawrence tacks it on. They're loving it in Austin. Shipley to the end zone, and you're watching Saturday Night Football on ABC.
What a great job here of setting up this punt return by Texas. Curtis Brown starts it with a big block right in front of Shipley. But watch the blocks here and here, which eventually spring him loose to be able to find the seam for a big touchdown. Shipley with great quickness and acceleration, but the blocks in the middle set that up beautifully.
And what set it up?
Oh, boy.
Oh, yeah. Oh, skipping.
Fearful. Little
skipping
quickness.
over the rope down there.
Little quickness from Bevo.
You betcha. Well, what really set that up was 3 and out on the last possession, and Tech had to punt out of their own end zone. And Shipley took that low line drive and hauled it into the end zone. Here's Eric Stevens again. He's looking for a crease. Gets to the outside and gets nailed over there by the kicker. Tucker took him down over there, and let's go to Matt Weiner again in New York. Matt, big arm.
Yes, sir. Brent, remember the adjustment Texas made, trying to walk up their defensive backs? You see it?
And they slash one to the outside on first down, and they get it across midfield, and we got another flag that is thrown.
That was Swindell. He's been in the doghouse earlier in the year, and now he's back in good graces.
Holding. Offense number 8. 10-yard penalty for the Spartan foul. Still first down.
Corey Franks that time trying to get a block downfield to help spring him loose. And again, the penalties here early in this game for Texas Tech. They have 4 already here in just a few offensive drives. Remember last year it was Texas that had the problems with penalties when they played this game up in Lubbock, especially in the first half of that game.
That is a big offensive line. Those 2 guards, each of them 6'7".
Love how they're eliminating that cushion and challenging these stack receivers.
Short gain on that completion, and that's Adam James, Craig James' son, making his first catch of the night on the throw by Potts.
I think this is the answer to Mike Leach's system, is just trying to have the athletic ability at defensive back like Texas is lucky to have, to be able to match up physically and athletically with the Tech receivers.
Second down, snaps it off for another first and 10 to Britton. Chains will move, and Red Raiders have taken it to the Horns 45-yard line here. Just to keep the middle honest, coming back with the running play with Baron Batch.
If you see Texas continue to press and continue to challenge the Tech receivers, I think the answer from Mike Leach against Will Muschamp will be the tunnel screen that Michael Crabtree had so much success with last year. Try to bring the receiver from the outside in and try to hit that crease right into the middle of the defense.
Shockey Brown, one of the DBs, under fire. There's another penalty flag. Hold on.
Like Sergio Kendall may have moved a little bit early.
And that would be the first penalty of the night against the Longhorns. We've already had 5 against Texas Tech. Following last year's loss.
Offside. Defense. 5-yard penalty. Repeat second down.
Texas was very concerned about the lack of penalties called against the Red Raider offensive line. They felt as a staff and as a group that the Red Raiders should have been called frequently for holding, and they weren't. But you know how that goes. You hear that from the losing side frequently in this game. Second down now and 3 yards to go. Intercepted. That a poorly thrown ball.
I think he was actually trying to throw that football to Alex Torres on a crossing route against man coverage, which is a great call. He's coming from the top down against Brown, but the ball is thrown high. And Taylor Potts very, very lucky that Aaron Williams did not intercept that. And also Earl Thomas had a chance to intercept it and take it the other way for a 60-yard touchdown.
You can see how exhausting it is to play on a defensive front against this passing attack. What it must feel like in the 4th quarter when you're still trying to get there to get to Potts, and there's a penalty flag called, and that well could be a holding call. Broken up again. So Earl Thomas, he was the safety who was trying to get Crabtree out of bounds on that winning touchdown a year ago. So this is a game he's had marked on his calendar, and that's an indication of a face mask.
Offense number 67. 15-yard penalty. Repeat third down.
Brett, I want to look at Sergio Kendall, who's been under fire somewhat here. This gives you an idea of the strength that this young man has, moving from linebacker to defensive end, throwing Marlon Wynn at 6'6", 315 pounds, just throwing him to the side.
Herbie, just to follow up on it, it's interesting that Kendall has said that he felt he could bull rush a little bit more against them. In other words, you have to expend so much energy if you try to get around the corner because of the way they back and split. that the bull rush sometimes is effective against this Red Raider offensive line, and Kendall went to it and drew the penalty. Kendall's an outstanding prospect.
Well, he's a great player. He's moved from linebacker to defensive end, and it's interesting. He doesn't have any sacks. And a lot of the local media and some of the fans are wondering what's wrong with Sergio Kendall. How come he's not making any plays? And Matt Brown and Will Muschamp are saying, guys, wait a second. There's more to playing defense than creating sacks. Quarterback hurries, demanding double teams and freeing up other players on the defensive front. So he's off to a good start. He just doesn't have the numbers that the fans and the media fall in love with.
This is such a dramatic scene here when you look down from above when they closed out that left end zone as you view it. And MetLife is providing the dramatic views of Darrell Royal Stadium. MetLife provides coverage of major sporting events while also providing you with guarantees for the ifs in life. Probably a record-setting crowd here tonight. Over 100,000. Watch the horns in Austin. There's Taylor Potts. 3rd down and 18. They trail 7-3. Under fire again. Has to throw it away.
Now they're trying to set up the middle screen, but against the speed up front, against this Texas defensive line, especially when they bring some pressure, it's tough to get the timing down. This is a strength of Texas Tech, a play that they'll like to go to on 3rd down. But how about the big guy, Lamar Houston, who's taking over for Roy Miller on the inside of this defensive line. Big 12 Defensive Player of the Week a week ago against Wyoming. Steps up and shows that he has the athletic ability to chase down a Taylor Potts.
Here comes Jordan Shipley again. Corona will punt it away from much better field position than the last time. And looks like they've sent Erxleben out to punt this one. And they have. Erxleben hangs it up to the 12-yard line, so he gets it up in the air a lot higher, and that forces the fair catch. Well, Monday night on his ropes with the Dolphins, and so we'll see how that one works out. Come Monday night, doubleheader was entertaining last week, and how about the New England Patriots and the comeback with Tom Brady? Now it is Colt McCoy. You'll be seeing him on Sunday next year, I'm for sure. This young man, we saw him first as a freshman when he came here, and many of us thought, yeah, he's just a little small, just a little slight. You walk up to him now, man, oh man, he's taller than Roger Staubach, who has become a very good friend of his when they stand side by side. So if you're taller than Roger Staubach in the state of Texas, folks, you're tall enough to play in the National Football League.
There's no question. Anybody who thinks he doesn't have the size to play in the NFL just hasn't watched Colt McCoy. I'm impressed with what he's been through emotionally. First replacing Vince Young, then being the Big 12 Offensive Player of the Year, then trying to deal with those expectations, then last year having the amazing season, and now he's trying to deal with the pressure of dealing with all that hype from last year.
On 3rd down and 4, threw high and incomplete. And Childs, who has moved from quarterback to receiver, was the intended target. And the high throw actually was a factor in the first half up in Laramie last week against Wyoming before he finally settled down. You can see the release and way over Childs.
I think about anytime a quarterback throws the ball like that, I think he's just a little bit too excited early in this game. Colt McCoy last year was unconscious with his accuracy. I think he's one of the most accurate, he and Sam Bradford, most accurate quarterbacks in the country, but this has kind of become a trend for him these first 3 games.
Tucker with that rugby punt, and it is a beauty. Zozalak makes the fair catch, and the Red Raiders will have another go at it. Remember, they lost 3 members of that offensive line last Monday night. You may have seen one of them, Vasquez, was starting in the San Diego Chargers offensive line. When you lose 3 fellows off an offensive line like that, and a couple of them move on to the National Football League, Coach Leach has to rebuild that line. It is obvious that perhaps scheme, effort, but don't overlook the fact that Leach's offensive line is still in that rebuilding stage. But the Horns have applied more pressure here tonight in the early going than they did at any time against Terrell. on first down. Potts hit as he released. Complete. Swindell makes his second catch of the night.
When Texas is not bringing pressure and Taylor Potts has time to throw, eventually his receivers are going to work themselves, as they say, they find grass, the opening in a zone, and that's where I think this offense excels. Like any quarterback, you give him time to throw and he's going to find an open man.
Incomplete. Drop. Travis Frank's got a couple already. Dropped that one.
For Will Muschamp, it's a mixed bag. You can't just pressure every single play. Talking with him this week, it's very important, as he says, to mix up your looks, but you want to err on the side of pressure. You want to challenge the Texas Tech wide receivers, and that's what he's going back to here. But you can't do it every play. You've got to mix up the looks.
Switching from nickel to dime, from 5 to 6 different defensive backs, Herbie and McElroy. He's jamming up that middle pretty good, not allowing Batch to get daylight after that earlier run.
I really can't recall. Taylor Potts is off to a good start, 11 of 17 here. A lot of high percentage throws for him. But I can't recall many plays working when you see the Texas defensive backs up right at the line of scrimmage. Texas Tech is not handling the pressure that Muschamp is throwing at him very well.
Here's 3rd and 9. Here comes the blitz from off the corner. Ball comes free. Still free. And a lineman gets down on it. Texas had a great shot at it. That was Wynn, who finally falls on the loose ball. The Longhorn should have gone down.
This is what hurt Texas last year, is when Graham Harrell scrambled, he came up with some answers. This has been something that's been emphasized this week. This time, Taylor Potts has nowhere to go. Houston's coming from the outside. How about the athletic ability and speed of this front four? They got pressure that time with just bringing 4, which is the defensive coordinator's best thing he loves to see.
Muschamp's defense with a 32-yard loss. So on 4th and 41, you bet the punter's on the field.
It's one of those plays where if you look at Acho, he just fall on the football. He wants to scoop and score. He just falls on the football. Texas has the ball at about the 20-yard line of Texas Tech. I think Will gets a better workout than the players, honestly, when it's all said and done after 4 quarters.
His wife told him the other day that she'd like to see him lose a couple of pounds. Okay?
Put him on that turf in this heat.
That's going to happen tonight. Okay.
Timeout. Texas Tech. First team charge from out of the half. So 30-second timeout.
So we got our first timeout here. Okay. Yeah.
You're willing to take a chance.
Right. Why not take
timeout?
Why not take a shot at that? So Erxleben, a familiar name to fans of football in Texas. His daddy kicked in the National Football League. He's under the gun now on a Red Raider end zone. Here comes Shipley, and nothing much doing. Good coverage that time for the Red Raiders. Well, it'll be awarded at the 2010 City BCS National Championship game, January 7th on ABC. And boy, one team fell back a little bit today. It's not impossible now. It's only September for USC, but they're going to have to make up ground.
Number 5.
Another team
10-yard penalty.
struggling tonight. BYU at home to Florida State. I think the last I heard, 30-14.
So, chew on this one.
Yes, sir.
If we didn't have any preseason ratings, and you threw out reputation, wouldn't Miami be deserving of a very high ranking now?
Based on everybody else that we've seen.
And Ja'Cory Harris, wouldn't he be very high on the Heisman Trophy list with what he's done?
I think he predicted he's going to win the Heisman at the beginning of the year.
Wow.
The way he's playing right now. And the way that team is starting to believe in him, they've got a lot of confidence. They look real.
Yeah, remember now Utah lost at Oregon today too. So now they've moved Colt McCoy out to the top, and they ran Childs straight ahead. Daylight. Childs took charge of the Longhorn version of the Wildcat and ran it right down the field for 34 yards.
I love to see John Childs have a chance to make plays because he's willing to make the move to get on the field, out to wide receiver. Occasionally they'll put him back there to give him this look, to give a defense this look, and you're talking about some serious speed from a former quarterback now playing wide receiver.
Now they come back. McCoy under some McGee. McCoy took the snap back in the shotgun, and they move it to the 20-yard line.
I just love to see guys who are unselfish. And Childs was a guy who was sitting behind Colt McCoy, who's having so much success. And he actually approached the coaches and said, guys, can I move to wide receiver? I just want to get on the field and help this team out. To see him playing the way he is, helping his team, is a great thing for him.
He had played wide receiver before becoming a quarterback in high school, as McCoy is sacked by Bird. So we've come to the end of the first quarter. After early field goal, the Longhorns have dominated, and they lead it 7-3. This presentation of Saturday Night Football presented by Southwest Airlines returns after this message and a word from our ABC station. The Capitol Dome here in Austin on a Saturday night with the Longhorns leading 7-3 with Lisa Salters, Kirk Herbstreit. I'm Brett Musburger. Nice to have you along with us here tonight. Third down and 11. And the Horns are in Red Raider territory at the 26-yard line. Incomplete. Kirkendall, the intended receiver, the slot man.
There's another third down pass by Colt McCoy where he's getting a little bit of pressure. He doesn't look like he's comfortable right now early in this football game. And I don't think it's just because of the pressure. I mean, he's used to dealing with pressure. See his footwork? That's just unlike Colt, where he's throwing the football and he's off balance a bit. Interesting to see if there's a play maybe that can ignite him and get him to stop thinking. He looks like he's just thinking too much.
43-yard field goal for Hunter Lawrence. Makes it. Stays perfect on the season. As we take a look at the Pacific Life game summary. So there's the comparison to the two quarterbacks. McCoy thrown only 6 times. Potts already has fired 17 times in the first quarter, and neither has a touchdown or an interception at this point. The big play of the game was Shipley's punt return for the touchdown in the first quarter. And of course, he has been Colt McCoy's roommate, and you know what? He can pick a pretty good guitar. I want you to call your buddy Kenny Chesney and tell him we found a punt returner who's also a pretty good songwriter and can pick the guitar, and Bevo is one of his closest friends. Jordan Shipley granted a 6th year by the NCAA because of injuries. Red Raiders from the 9-yard line. Here's Stevens again, looking daylight. Breaks free. Strong rascal out to the 35-yard line. Well, that's just got Denny Hamlin ready to go. After taking her around that track in Atlanta, he went up to Richmond and won. And man, he's right in the thick of things right now. And Mark Martin, for us old guys, there's our hero right there. You bet. Old guys can still drive, Herbert.
No doubt about that.
Jimmy Johnson trying to 4-peat. Wouldn't that be something, huh? First down and 10 now for the Red Raiders. Taylor Potts is under fire from this Longhorn defense. A variety of fronts, different looks, pressure coming from all over the field. And they start off with a nice conservative running play and nothing much doing there. The big difference that I see with this Red Raider team is the offensive line from a year ago.
They're breaking in 3 new starters, still trying to find some continuity up there. And not only that, Brent, but just, you know how it is, communication, going on the road, dealing with this crowd. And when Texas shows different looks, that's part of the confusion that Will Muschamp wants to try to take advantage of.
Now 4 down. Potts fires in underneath. And let's take a look at that was Britton who made the catch. Here is your offensive line, and the fierce one, and one of the co-captains is Brandon Carter. He's returning. Both those guards stand 6'7". Those wide spacing. 3rd down and 10. Everybody here knows they're going to be putting the ball in the air. Little 2-point stance. They'll drop back the pass block. Wait for the engagement. Pressure from the outside, and he completed it. Fine throw by Potts to Lewis. And Potts has been on the ground a lot more than Harrell was last year on Loving.
He got a lot of pressure from behind after he threw the ball. He's retreating, and it gives Eddie Jones a perfect target. I think if he would have stepped up into the pocket, he would have been able to avoid this pressure from Jones, but he retreated, and it gave Jones the target. But a nice job also by Detron Lewis of coming across that coverage.
Slides it to the outside with a couple of blockers. Torres again. Torres good size for a wide receiver. He's a redshirt freshman. He's out of El Paso.
Getting into our own Big 12 rhythm here up here. Man, these guys move fast.
Don't do that. Penalty flag. There's a whole lot of different looks being thrown by Muschamp on that front.
5-yard penalty. Still 2nd down.
I think going back to your point about seeing the big difference with the offensive line, that's an area we talked about Muschamp wants to attack, and the reason Graham Harrell had time to throw, number one, he's playing at home, but he had that veteran offensive line. Now you go on the road and you break in 3 new starters up front. And I think they're struggling with their communication and these different looks. It almost becomes a bit of a guessing game of who's going to pick up who when they bring pressure or when they fake pressure and drop.
There's 5 rush. Complete. Good throw to James. His 2nd catch of the night. So Craig will be pleased with that. Hope he's able to watch here tonight after working this afternoon.
Adam James is a very talented young sophomore at 6'3", 215 pounds. And you're right, I know Craig is very excited to see him get his chance to make some plays. But he's a great athlete, great size. And Mike Leach says he probably has the best set of hands on the team.
Third and 2. Potts fires high and incomplete.
There was some confusion there on the right-hand side. Taylor Potts waiting for the receivers to break free, and it was just clearly miscommunication with the receiver on trying to get to the outside.
They'll go for it on 4th down as much as any team in the country, especially in the other team's territory. Here they come on 4th and 2. This is part of the Leach manual. Got the 1st down. Snapped it off to Lewis.
I think Detron Lewis had the chance this year to be this year's Michael Crabtree for this offense. He was overshadowed last year by Crabtree. This guy has the strength, the size, and the ability. Watch the hands on this catch right here. Watch him go up and just take that ball out of the air. And I know Michael Crabtree's a great player, but I'm telling you, Brent, Detron Lewis has a lot of similarities with his athletic ability.
fires it deep down the right sideline, incomplete. It'll be 2nd down and 10. The other thing that is becoming obvious with the Longhorn defense here tonight, they're not getting a lot of yards after a catch. And you can see even on this play how closely covered that receiver is.
Well, that's where the defensive backs and the cornerbacks for Will Muschamp come into play. He has big, tall, rangy, strong defensive backs that match up very favorably against the Texas Tech receivers.
Tried to set a screen to Batch. He put it down on the ground, and Texas recovers it. Turnover, Red Raiders.
Emmanuel Acho, you have to be able to make plays in space, and you always are thinking about the potential of a screen. Baron Batch just leaks out a little slip screen, and Emmanuel's right there to be able to knock that football away. And what you love to see if you're a Texas fan are how many burnt orange jerseys are flying to the football. Great job in the open field by Acho. And look at Lamar Houston's there. Eddie Jones is around. Earl Thomas is there. 5 or 6 guys trying to get a hold of that football.
Now Colt McCoy will attempt to put together a drive here. Complete to midfield. On 1st down, hits Shipley.
And yet to really allow Colt McCoy to find his rhythm here. And I think as we talked in the last drive, he's kind of pressing a little bit. I think he's guiding the football instead of just getting back there, making a read, having confidence, and just throwing it. Looks like he's just thinking a little bit too much.
On 2nd and 7. That was a slick grab by Shipley. Reaching behind. Williams making the stop for the Red Raiders.
One way a quarterback can find that rhythm is by going to his favorite target.
I think he's talking like a pirate.
He's trying anything right now. You go to your favorite target if you're Colt McCoy. That's Jordan Shipley. A lot of times that can get you going.
Cody Johnson is the running back. 1st down for the Horns. McCoy. I think the first time I ever came to this stadium, they had a track around down below, and both end zones were wide open. And through the years, the remodeling that has gone on here, it's just one of the finest facilities in the country right now. And here's McCoy. High and intercepted. Again, the ball was high. Childs could not pull it in, and Moore makes the pick for the Red Raiders.
Again, very much unlike Colt McCoy. Ball is high. Childs doing everything he can to make the play. But anytime you're high with a receiver and he deflects it, chances are it's going to be intercepted.
So you wonder what's wrong with McCoy. Timeout. So with that interception, the Red Raiders get the ball back. And, you know, offensive coordinator Greg Davis told us the other day, if you compare the Texas offense to last year's, we're better. We've shown stretches of brilliance, but we are inconsistent. And that has certainly reared its head again here tonight. Now Potts drops one off to the left side, and Stevens, the young running back, and surrounded by burnt orange.
Defense has done a nice job of making some adjustments. Remember that first drive? I think you and I and everybody else watching very impressed that Mike Leach decided to take the football after winning the toss, and he went right down the field. Taylor Potts making every throw perfect. They were able to get away with 3 points. Since then, they've been shut down and handled pretty well.
Taking a yard loss on that play. Kendall in a stand-up rush spot. Here comes 5. And they get out to the 31-yard line with Britton.
I'm impressed with Taylor Potts, and I know it's early in this football game, and we'll see how he plays, but considering this pass rush has been pretty fierce, he seems to be maintaining his poise and presence in this pocket.
He's thrown the ball 27 times already here tonight. Number 28 is high and incomplete. Two receivers seem to be jammed together, and that attracted a crowd and a little confusion about what to do here.
Curtis Brown's going to come from the left on a blitz right there. Potts wants to go, but Edward Britton wasn't ready, and what you would call a side adjust or a hot route. When you see a blitz as a receiver, you just have to turn, make the easy throw. Potts was ready to fire it for a first down, but Britton did not pick up the blitz that time by Curtis Brown.
In their two previous games against North Dakota and Rice, Texas Tech punted a total of twice. They have already punted 4 times here tonight. Here is number 5. And they've had one punt returned for a touchdown. Fair catch. Shipley brings it down at the 34-yard line. So we'll take a break. Despite the struggles, the Red Raiders only trail by 7 points. Collins Guitars, located just southwest of Oxon. And of course, they make some of the best of the world. Lyle Lovett, Robert Earl Keen, The Who, the Moody Blues. They've all been customers of that plant. So here comes McCoy handing off on first down to McGee.
Brent, we've talked so much about Will Muschamp, but how about the job so far Ruffin McNeil has done in Texas Tech? Breaking in 3 new starters in the secondary. We've talked about how they're depleted up front with some injuries and some other issues on the defensive line. Wondered about the depth. We'll continue to watch that. But so far, the punt returns, the only touchdown that Texas has, and they gave up a field goal on a short field. They're playing very well, very inspired football on that side.
Yeah, you bet Ruffin's defense will be keeping right in the thick of things. McCoy dancing away. Again, his receivers are covered, so he'll take off, and short of the first down, he is lit up on the sideline by Marlon Williams. Appeared from up here to be legal. Let's take a look.
He breaks to the outside. I think he expected to be able to feel some pressure. It's a better angle right here. I personally don't have a problem with it. I don't know how you feel about it.
It's football.
Yeah, you play the game, right?
Mike Ditka said you
We're in Texas, right?
On those quarterbacks.
Still.
Third down and 2. The power I formation. So they have decided to run with Johnson carrying for the first down. A little bit of a different look here for Mack, working away on the clock a little bit. This, of course, when they had their staff meeting on Monday, he drew the staff together, the offensive coaches. He said, okay, here's what I want. I want long, slow scoring drives. And, of course, Greg Davis said, sure, coach, as McCoy comes out to the left again with the Wildcat formation. Remember how successful this was. Giles, number 7, will take the direct snap.
He also handed to DJ Monroe, who's lightning quick in the backfield with him.
Fumbled at that time. I think the next snap will go to Cole.
That's just a change-up. It worked perfectly the first time. It's something to give not just this Texas Tech defense something to look at, but future defenses. Ball was snapped okay. Kyle's athletic enough, obviously, to be able to handle that. See how Colt does now. He's got a couple obvious passing situations, and he's not quite found that rhythm.
Puts it in Childs' hands with the pass, and Childs across midfield.
You know, you and I know, and our whole crew visiting with Colt and talking with him, he's got the weight of the world on his shoulders, dealing with not just being the Texas quarterback, like any quarterback here would have, but also completing 77% of his passes a year ago. The expectations to win the Heisman, lead this team to a national title. I think that maybe has had an effect on him early in 2009.
Here's 3rd and 5, low and deflected. Overcompensating a little bit as he's been throwing high in this game, and I'll tell you, Ruffin's D looks like he'd get out there and play the nose a little bit himself, huh?
He took over.
Take a couple to move him out of the way, let me tell you.
He took over midway through the 2007 season, and they just continue to get better with him because he demands effort. He makes sure they play fast and play with effort.
He's a nice guy when you talk to him, isn't he? Justin Tucker, and there's that rugby punt. They had terrible kicking problems up in Laramie, and here's tonight. One of the big linemen. Time now for the Duck to ask Herbie. Aflac trivia time. All right, Herbie. What two quarterbacks gave Taylor Potts his only 2 losses at Abilene, Texas High School? Lost only 2 times. Okay, here comes hint number 1.
Okay.
You have broadcast games involving both.
All right.
First down and 10 now for Potts. Unbeaten as a college starter, too, remember. On first down, whips it off complete, and that is Lewis. That's the man Herbie likes now as a stand-up big-time receiver for this team.
The distribution is so important for Taylor Potts. I think he did a good job. I think you mentioned it. First drive, 5 different receivers. That's what they have to be able to do. Get touches to every single player on the offense. That's something that Mike Leach always emphasizes.
Looking downfield. A lot of time this time. And he got a crossing man at midfield on that play. Leong, his Abilene High School teammate.
How about the time? He had to hang in there. The offensive line did a good job of giving him time, but I think the presence and the patience to be able to wait there and eventually deliver a strike was important there by Potts.
A couple blockers in front of Britton, and he puts it down. They've got the ball.
Adjustment again by Will Muschamp. Once Texas Tech starts to have a couple completions, is pressure. Texas Tech has not been able to do a good job of handling pressure when they bring a 5th guy and they load up tight to the line of scrimmage. Let's see if he goes back to that.
2nd and 9, and on the running play, still short of the first down with Stevens.
You know, this is probably 4-down territory for Mike Leach, so usually likes to find his inside receivers on option routes on these kind of situations.
Back out, the corners tighten up a little bit as he does. Incomplete. Very good coverage by Williams. Aaron Williams that time. Now here's the 4th down and 6 for the Mary Pirate.
You knew he'd go for this. When he spreads, well, oh, this is, wow.
So we went to see Texas Tech, Texas, and a defensive struggle broke out.
What is this? I think he's pretty confident in Ruffin McNeil and the defense and the way they have Colt McCoy on the ropes right now.
We didn't know that Mike was a defensive coach, did we?
We saw that last week.
That's a beautiful punt. Oh, it goes in the end zone at the end. Oh, they had a crack at it, didn't they? Oh, my. Timeout. All right. The answer to the Aflac trivia question, Herbie. The two quarterbacks who gave Taylor Potts his only 2 losses at Abilene High School.
I'm going to guess 1. Greg McElroy. Yep, from South. Oh, Chase Daniel. Going back on me a little bit.
Too. They both played for South Lake Carroll.
State championship game?
And one of them was.
Okay.
And South Lake Carroll had a great run. This is incomplete. on first down. And you know, there they are as teammates at South Lake Carroll, legendary high school program. Coach Dodge has moved to North Texas, and Greg McElroy beat him today with Alabama.
Yeah.
And so there's Chase. He was the winner in 2004. So Potts has had a big time record at Abilene, and now this second attempt, but kind of chuckling because in effect, you're absolutely right. It's Ruffin's defense that's dictating here.
No doubt.
Newton checks in as the running back out to the 25-yard line. Let's go to New York and Matt Weiner for sports.
Wow.
That enhances Miami's record so much.
Absolutely.
All right. I know you got a vote.
Yep.
You better get the cane up there.
Don't worry.
Let's go to the top 5 with them. Let's get them up there.
You're right.
They deserve it, huh? Where they go next? Virginia Tech is, that was Shipley who made that catch, moved the chains, first down for Texas.
Nice throw that time by Colt McCoy. He's had time to step into it and put it right on the money. The only receiver he seems to be throwing with some rhythm right now with is Jordan Shipley.
Here's Colt. He'll take off to the 35-yard line. You know, the other thing, Herbie, that we have to say, 2 BCS busters went down in flames today, Utah and BYU. Well, the BYU game obviously not over yet, but
opens the door for
taking it on the chin. Boise still standing, and they had their hands full with Fresno last night. Not a good Saturday. This was BCS busted Saturday so far. McCoy complete. And that is video.
Well, that time, Texas offensive line gave Colt McCoy some time to throw. He put the ball where Malcolm Williams can make the play. But I'm going to tell you something. Kobe Whitlock and his Texas Tech defensive line playing very, very well. Texas Tech has been sitting back with 2 safeties back pretty deep on this defense, not giving Colt McCoy any room to work with downfield, and it allows that front to be able to dominate.
Well, we've got a timeout. Let's check in with John Saunders in New York. John? That was a shocker. I know you expected Washington to play very well because of Steve Sarkisian and Blocker and everything else.
And Nick. I mean, that's
you got to be surprised.
Oh, my gosh, yeah. How big is that for Steve Sarkisian and recruiting out in Seattle? You know,
and in Southern California. That's what he's got.
Good point. Taylor Mays didn't play today. His hometown. USC had injuries. They had guys walking off the field. Joe McKnight was limping around. But I think this says not only something about Washington, it says something about USC. If they don't get a lot better offensively, there's going to be some other big-time struggles for them coming up in the Pac-10.
Pac-10 been very entertaining so far this year. And California, Minnesota will go to Oregon. Big game for the Bears, and on that quarterback draw, McCoy to midfield. Time running down here in the first half. Leading it, but only 10-3.
We saw this last week with Matt Barkley. Sometimes when you get into a 2-minute offense, you stop thinking about being perfect and stop guiding the football and thinking about the stress of playing quarterback, and you just play the game. Let's see if that can help Colt McCoy. Maybe not.
Oh, not again. Goodwin, intended receiver. 3rd and 5.
I cannot say enough about Texas Tech's defense. You could look at Colt and say, well, he's not throwing the ball very well. There's a reason he's not throwing the ball very well. A lot of it has to do with what Texas Tech's doing with their pressure and keeping these Texas receivers in front of them.
3rd down and 5. And underneath, short of the first down, and that was Greg Smith's.
This is a great illustration of the first half. Pressure, just enough. You don't need a sack. Off to the left there. Just Bird getting in, giving Colt McCoy. See how he can't step into the throw? And then after he makes the throw, you have Cody Davis right there to bring down Greg Smith. Well-schooled defense right here in this first half by Texas Tech.
A week ago in Laramie, McCoy struggled throughout the first half. Threw high. Here tonight, same struggle. But Texas Tech got to get ready because it was a McCoy air raid up in Laramie in the second half.
His numbers this year from the first half to the second half, it's just incredible. I think he's completed 53% of his passes in the first half with 2 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, and 75% of his passes in the second half with 3 touchdowns and no interceptions.
He's talking with Major Applewhite. Many of you remember when he and Chris Sims were the quarterbacks here at Texas. Major spent some time on Nick Saban's staff over in Alabama, and now works with the offense here in Austin. Justin Tucker with that 5-yard penalty, runs some time off the clock. He goes to the rugby on trying to give Texas Tech as little time as possible, and MetLife is providing tonight's aerial coverage. Visit MetLife.com to learn more about MetLife's long history of providing coverage at major sporting events. Wonderful Saturday night here in Austin, Texas. One of the prime spots to watch a college football game. And low scoring. We did not expect to see only 13 points on the board. In fact, the only touchdown tonight has been a punt return.
Who would ever guess that with Mike Leach and this high-powered Texas offense?
I can't remember 3 and out by the Red Raiders in that game last year in Lubbock. Or maybe there was one that I don't remember. We had one early here tonight. 10-3. We've had 2 3-and-outs for him this evening. Fox throws, and it is complete.
I'm a little bit surprised that they're taking a shot, but again, this is his ideas.
You're surprised that he's taking a shot?
After the way he punted on a 4th down inside Texas territory, I'm expecting.
That's what he wanted, the defense out there.
I'm expecting a knee and get out of Dodge.
Drops it off and finally finds the middle with Batch, and it's on the ground again.
That's why. I mean, just be happy. 10-3. Shut it down. Hit the showers. You know Texas is going to attack the football. Is it really? Oh.
Acho again. He's been all over the place. There's the difference maker with that punt return. Shipley.
30 seconds timeout. Reset the clock to 1 second.
Oh, you know Texas fans don't want to hear the word 1 second. That's what was left when Crabtree ripped into the end zone. Remember the crowd spilling out onto the field a couple of times? Red Raiders were penalized on the kickoff, and what,
can I ask you something?
Go ahead.
Look at I'm looking at his face and wondering what he's thinking about. Is this for stats? Is he going to do a flea flicker or a hook and lateral, or is he just looking to help Taylor Potts maybe make a nice completion and get some more passing yards? You know, he's led the nation in passing offense 6 of the last 7 years.
I think he just said, can you find Michael Crabtree in the stands?
Yeah, right. Just put it up there. I want to see if this is a Hail Mary or just...
They spent a long time if he's saying take a knee.
Right. Right.
1 second to go. Down 7. Second down. If anything, he is never orthodox. Trust me. Did he fake it? There's finally a whistle. Kendall had him wrapped up. I think
his knee did not touch.
His knee didn't touch.
No.
He was doing the Dan Marino dance.
Oh, boy.
Oh, mercy.
His knee, Brent, you're exactly right.
There's no question. That's what the conversation was over there.
The old Dan Marino trick. Watch his right knee. Misses by 12 inches.
Let's go down. Lisa, coach has got to be livid about that.